Namaste. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back. Welcome back to Tarot Advent Calendar. There's so many series going on right now. I need to be careful. I know where I am. I have been reflecting full moon energy, great intensity. And my question for you this afternoon is this. Can you be humble enough, breathe deeply enough to give space for the dramatic or amplified nature of what arose or is arising this full moon? And that's what I want to ask the cards for support and advice in. And as I mentioned yesterday, the energy of this full moon is intense. It really is intense, and my world kind of exploded last night. And I am observing, and I'm doing my best to give space for that. And I would like to expand that inquiry for all of you to make space for its intensity. Welcome, Clevis and Arya. Namaste. So let's go with that. Also, please note that already, just double checking my moon journal. Moon moves to Pisces 11:21 a.m. So the moon has already shifted from Gemini into Pisces. And that first decan of Pisces is Eight of Cups. Does that tell you anything? Does that help in any way? Does reflection on that number 8 help in any way? Can you be humble enough, breathe deeply enough to give space for the amplified nature of what shone through for you this full moon? Hello, Saskia. Welcome. And as always, I ask this message be in the highest for the greatest good, and that no harm be done. So be it. I'm using Tarot of the Abyss. I am tempted. Okay, this was not planned. Hello Magdalena, welcome. I am going to use Eight of Cups. It's really poignant in this deck as my significator. So that's where I'm going to go. I forgot about this Hanged Man card. It's extraordinary. There you are. And I concur. Clevis. All right. Doesn't matter how expensive that glass of wine is, sometimes you just need to dump it out. Wow. This is kind of wow. So it's interesting. I mean, Three of Swords has so many layers, but I think this also, it acknowledges that sometimes what is revealed, what we grow through, yeah, it hurts, but it's the hurt, it's the pain, it's the cuts, it's the injuries that allow us to mend and to heal. And we have that on one side, and then on the other side, there's this card of magic and energy and creativity and transformation, and it's kind of beautiful. If I look at these two cards together in terms of where the moon is, if that makes any sense, where the moon is mechanically right now, the moon just moved into Pisces. So, yeah, acknowledge that maybe you didn't want to hear that it actually hurt. And if it wasn't something you heard, maybe it's something that you realized or recognized, and that this might be a bit of an extension because I'm personalizing this a little bit, but I felt that you may connect here. My question was, can you be humble enough, breathe deeply enough to give space for the intensity that wanted to pass through at this full moon? And the cards remind me that allow it to hurt. Acknowledge the pain. And this idea of growth through swords, right? Growth through the Three of Swords, healing and mending through the Three of Swords is such an important part of that process. The journey is long. It's Ten of Wands is over here. The journey is long, and we have a choice to take different paths and to do things differently. And we can choose to not carry it all. And yet, the cards that are on the outside of the reading, they remind me that, and wands are very much my path cards, dharmic kind of cards, that the dharmic path, the path of life purpose, is one where we get stronger. We learn to endure and make good choices. So my my advice, my encouragement here is mostly in the question, and that is make space for it. Make space. You will understand it later. It's part of your growth. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that reading. All right, so I'm going to go to my favorite things. And today, I thought I would share with you some little things. And these little things are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little decks that I have trimmed and edged. And are they all no, they're not all Llewellyn. But they all became, and I'll show you all of them together on the table after. This one is the Crystal Tarot. And this actually is one of my favorite cards, the King of Wands. And I just find this deck absolutely enchanting. And the beauty of the deck was completely lost with those horrible multi-language borders. And now it's just this beautiful little deck. So that is the Crystal. This one is the Chamonix or Chamonix Tarot by Eden Gallanter. And I did a deep dive of this deck, and it is it's a pretty powerful little deck that has its own little nuances. It's certainly not a straight up deck. And I decided I purchased a second copy right away because I knew that this deck was it was doing something for me. And I thought, I'm going to trim one of them because I want to know this deck well enough that I don't need the titles. I kind of trimmed it as my own personal challenge. And so, yeah, so this is beautiful, beautiful colors as well. Well, you really can't tell on the screen. They all look so similar. It's funny, they're all kind of edged in a blue color. This is Sun and Moon. And there's something about this deck that is just really lovely. I think the majors are amazing. And the cup cards, well, it's sorted right now because as I've mentioned, I've been doing top tarot, minors and trumps, so a lot of my decks are sorted for convenience. But you can tell these are all wands. Of course, there's a fire symbol at the top as well. However, sometimes it's not easy to remember which card is which. And I have to lay out all 14 cards and then remember. And so if I'm not using some of these decks for a long period of time, I would spend a little bit of time making sure I remember what's what. Yeah. And two more. And you've seen these decks before. This is Osho Zen, multicolored edged. And I did leave. Oh, so yeah, the numbers are off the border. So I couldn't trim off the bottom border because the numbers, I wanted to leave this on. So it's not completely trimmed. But it did lose the titles. And one of you brilliant people reminded me that I never finished my conversation about this deck. I did a part 1 and I never did a part 2. And so I will, at some point in 2025, do a part 2 on this deck. And I probably will have to start all over again because my view on the tarot has certainly changed over the years. And then the last one is Llewellyn. And so this deck, I do have another copy. Because why? Because I haven't memorized the names of the titles of the major arcana. And I wanted to have them. So I do have 2 copies of this deck. And this one has kind of a antique-y edging to it. I forget what it's called. I love this deck. I carry this one around quite a bit. I don't have pouches for all of them, and I think if I had pouches for them, I would carry them around. This Hanged Man card is just so amazing. I learned a lot from this deck. So yeah, so that is my favorite thing for today. These little tiny decks. I'm going to put them all on the table so you can see the different sizes. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get them all on the table. That's funny. There you go. Now you can see them all. So the smallest one is Crystal. The largest one is Osho-zen. This one is a little bit longer and skinnier, but they're all little. And here is the deck that we did the reading with. So they're all little and lovely decks to have in hand. Yeah. All right. And my tarot tip for today is I feel like I kind of mentioned this, and I was talking about I did say it, but I didn't overtly state this, so I want to restate it, and it's going to be my tip for today. And the tip is this. Do I have my example? Don't forget to go back to old readings. it's important. So, I guess there's another part of this, and that is, how do you catalog and record your old readings? If you journal and it's hard to find things, I know some people take photos and then they print the photo and then they paste it into their journal. That certainly works. Some people do it digitally. Make sure you put the date down in your journal. I know sometimes I forget to put the date down, and so I can see the reading was between such and such and such. So that's really important. But the point of this tip is to revisit your old readings, because that can help to make things much clearer. You may recall a reading, and I'm thinking in particular of some of the big readings that you do, like year ahead spreads or birthday spreads or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I don't even know where my example went. That's too bad. I showed you this reading that I did during the course in the summer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, it must be here. And that is, I wanted to show you my Sagittarius reading. Okay. What's right? No, that's the Lovers. Okay. Too many things on my desk, friends. Oh, here it is. So I was talking about what happened last night and how my world kind of exploded. And I decided to pick up this set of cards from the summer, August. And the card that was on the top was the Daughter of Swords. And while the Daughter of Swords is very clever, she can also be very sharp of tongue. And I also had the Five of Swords in my Sagittarius cards. Now, what I was, I also there had this is my full moon card, the Three of Cups, which is the central decan of Cancer. And this particular card to me is the fullest of the full moon cards in the tarot. And so I sat reflecting on this set of cards, and something also happened in a reading that I did in Tarot Foundations 2, which I did earlier this morning. And this particular card, the Ten of Cups, was kind of significant in that reading as well, though not directly in it. And so having these cards available to review, and now granted, it was really nice that I kept these little bundles, and I haven't been using these decks since August. Pretty convenient. I could have gone back to a photo and to my notes. I'm understanding it better now and how this has all come to be. So keep good records and make sure that your journal is dated, and it can be quite a relief, and also that feeling of, wow, the tarot really does make sense. And aha, now I understand that message. So remember to revisit your old readings. Thank you. And I will see you in the morning. Take good care. Namaste.